watching. Addison and Emma are going to join us for our story tonight. Okay, say we're going to read a story, Emma.
We're going to read a story.
Okay, sit down, baby. Alright, we're going to read a story. Tonight, we're going to read, it's called A Dark Night in the Garden. And this is about Jesus, and he's praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. And so yeah, here we go. The wind was picking up now, blowing clouds across the moon, shrouding the garden in darkness. "Stay up with me," Jesus asked his friends. They said yes and waited under the olive trees, but they were tired and soon they fell asleep. Jesus walked ahead alone into the dark. He needed to talk to his heavenly Father. He knew it was time for him to die. They had planned it long ago, he and his Father. Jesus is going to take the punishment for all the wrong things anybody had ever done or would ever do. "Father," Jesus cried, and he fell to the ground, "is there any other way to get your children back, to heal their hearts, to get rid of the poison?" But Jesus knew there was no other way. All the poison of sin was going to have to go into his own heart. God was going to pour into Jesus' heart all the sadness and brokenness of people's hearts. He was going to pour into Jesus' body all the sickness in people's bodies. God was going to have to blame his Son for everything that had gone wrong. It would crush Jesus. Yeah. There's Jesus praying in the garden, and there's his friends. They fell asleep. You see the moon?
Oh, me.
You see it, Emma? Yeah. There's Jesus praying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, sit down. Let's keep reading. But there was something else. Something even more horrible. When people ran away from God, they lost God. It was what happened when they ran away. Not being close to God was like a punishment. Jesus was going to take that punishment. Jesus knew what that meant. He was going to lose his Father. And that, Jesus knew, would break his heart in two. Violent sobs shook Jesus' whole body, and Jesus wept. Then Jesus said, like a lamb, "I trust you, Father. Whatever you say, I will do." Here's Jesus on his knees praying to his Father, talking to God. See that, Emma?
Me.
You see it? Yeah. How do you? Yeah, that's Jesus praying. All right, go sit down. Keep reading. We'll keep reading. Suddenly, through the trees, a glitter of starlight flashed off of steel. Into the quiet garden camp whispers, muffled voices, and clanking of metal. The sound of boots marching. Jesus stood up. He woke his friends. "Now is the time," he said gently. "Everything that was written about me, what God has been telling his people all through the long years, it will come true." And into the night, with burning torches and lanterns, with swords and clubs and armor, they came, an army of soldiers. Judas led them straight to Jesus so they could arrest him. Jesus was waiting for them. So here's Jesus and his disciples, and then there's Judas and the soldiers. Yep, see that, baby? All right, watch out. You can move so Zoe and John can see. Okay?
Oh, John can see.
Jesus?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was wondering what that page meant.
Mm-hmm. Peter leapt up and took a sword, and he tried to defend Jesus. He sliced off a guard's ear. Jesus immediately touched the guard and healed him. Peter, Jesus said, "This is not the way." Peter did not realize that no army, no matter how big, could ever arrest Jesus. Not unless Jesus let them. Then Jesus, who had never done anything except love people, was arrested as if he were a criminal. Jesus' friends were so afraid. They ran and hid in the dark shadows. The guards marched Jesus off and took him to the leaders. The leaders put Jesus on trial, and they said, "Are you the Son of God?" Jesus said, "I am." "Who do you think you are, to call yourself God?" You must die for calling yourself the Son of God." Only the Romans were allowed to kill prisoners, so the leaders made a plan. "We'll tell the Romans, this man wants to be our king, and they will crucify him. But it would all be all right. It was God's plan. It was for this reason that I was born into the world," Jesus said. Look at that. There's, well, wait, am I pointing the right one? Yeah.
I can see his
There's
ear
Peter.
flying
Yeah,
off.
there's Peter and his sword. You can see his ear. Chop. Cut his ear off.
Where's his ear?
And that's the guards taking Jesus away. Oh, that was the end. That was the end. And yeah. So that's where we'll leave it for tonight. Have a good night. And I'm going to send another one that'll just be about tomorrow and then the next day and the next day. So we'll keep this story going just like what we've been reading this. So
Hi, I'm a
say goodnight.
doctor.
Say night-night, Zoe. Night-night, John.
Zoe and John.
Say love you.
Love you. Time to be doctor. Bye.
Good night.